Alright, what is going on guys, Slim here, and in today's video I have the Life Paragon build for you guys. This is the final episode in our 5th Age PvP series. You guys have been absolutely killing the videos lately. I appreciate everybody who's been being patient with the end of the series. Again, when you have 7 max wizards, it takes a lot of time to, make the new pets and, find the best gear. And I never want to rush out content for you guys and be like, oh, this is the best build, if I'm not sure there's something better, right? So, yeah, before we get into it, guys, if you are new, feel free to subscribe. I do post every single day, and we're trying to get to 2K subs for 2023, and I'd really appreciate it. And let's see if we can get to, like, I don't know, like 35, 40 likes on today's video. And, yeah, without further ado, let's get right into it. Alright, so starting off with the stats page, you get about 11.3k HP, which is absolutely nuts. 150 damage on a life. That is 5 more damage than a Storm Wizard in this current meta, which doesn't make any sense at all. 60 uni res, 64 to fire, and myth, which is pretty helpful, right, against the hitting schools, except for Storm, obviously. You're a bit more tankier, so you have a bit more room for error, basically, which is pretty cool. 14 accuracy, so you do have a 1% fizzle chance, but you'll see it's not that big of a deal. It happens maybe 1 in 99 games for me, and the rest of the stats are absolutely insane, so it's worth it in my opinion. 533 crit, sorry, which is pretty good for our life. 600 block, which is, again, really good. 40 Pierce on a Life Wizard, again, almost about the same as a Storm Wizard in this meta, which doesn't make any sense. Then you get 60% conversion. You'll have 102 pip chance with 118 shads. You could argue the shads are a bit low, however, shad rating right now is a little bit buggy. It's basically just RNG, essentially who gets the first shad and stuff like that. I've been doing testing, more and more testing. I've gotten outshaded by a guy with 103 shads when I'm running 140, which is the max shad rating. So it's just really RNG. King's Out really needs to fix the shad rating. So yeah, I'm missing the pip stuff here because I do not have a pip jewel on, by the way. But yeah, you'll have 102 pips, which is perfect pips. So honestly, really cracked stats. Again, some of the best stats in the game. You have the same Pierce as a Storm, almost. You have more damage than a Storm. You have 3,000 more health than a Storm. You have, like, 15 more resist than a Storm. You don't fizzle. You have better block. You have the same crit. It's absolutely nuts. It's just crazy the stats you get on a Life Wizard. So, I am running the Highlands hat. This hat is very, very solid for a life. You could run the Mercy one. It is pretty solid. You get a second 6-round devotion card, which is pretty cool. But I think, in terms of value and, in terms of stats, I think running Highlands is better for a Life Wizard, in my opinion. You can run Cannon, and you'll see a video coming on that in the future. But I think Highlands is definitely the best way to go. Next up, you're going to want Merciless Robe and Merciless Shoes to obviously make up for the damage you're giving up here on the hat. So you have Highland, Mercy, Mercy. Then I am running Mercy again for the extra Pierce here. You could run Arbalaster, it's also not bad. You do give up a bit of block rating, but you do gain shads. So, it's not terrible. And you do get that extra square socket to be a bit more tankier on a life. So Arbalaster is probably the other wand I'd recommend for a Life Wizard. Then obviously you want the Merciless with the pip socket right here. I just do not have it at the time of me recording this, guys. So you'll put the pip socket on your theme here. Myth Mastery. I've been doing a lot of testing between Ice, Death, and Myth. And I think Myth is probably the best synergy. Your only weakness really is Blade Sack, unfortunately. But you always could just train Eye of Vigilance, and just kind of use that like a scales almost on, a balance, with the balance school. So, there are ways to deal with it, I guess, but that is probably your biggest issue with this build. But the nice thing about this is you can run the Troll, which a lot of you guys have seen probably from, Sauce and, and, you know, just other lives in queue. You can knock off a debuff, get a minion out, and set up your Grenadier, so it's just a really good power move in terms of shifting the tempo and staying in control. So I would definitely recommend it Myth Mastery for the troll. Then also being able to counter Grim Reader and set up your life gen is immensely valuable, right? Also, if somebody's like stacking weaknesses, you can counter that as well. Set up the gen, right? There's a lot of cool stuff you can do. Then, you know, not to mention, you can Medusa, you can Myth Banshee combo a lot easier. You could run Loser's Defense, I guess, but I don't like to run it right now. It's kind of broken at the moment, so I'm waiting until King's Isle, you know, addresses the issue or hopefully caps it. That's probably the best thing for everybody, is to cap the ping pong cards, in my opinion. But yeah, it's a really solid mastery for a life. Another alternative I would probably say is Ice. You can counter weaknesses and counter blades, but that one's a bit more debatable. Reason being is, you know, all PvE players run the Myth Mastery for Loser's Defense, and if you're going to use Wall of Blades, they'll just steal all the shields, and it's kind of pointless, right? So, I don't know. Ice Mastery would be a close second, but I think Myth Mastery is better. Merciless Life Ring is next. Nothing better, really, at the moment. And then the really nice part about this build as well is you can actually keep the last meta life pet. Now, I did make a new one, and I thought this would be better, but after, you know, further investigation with the militia hat, you actually can keep this pet if you do have it still from the last meta. And that's a very big plus for some players, is, you know, keeping a pet from the last meta, because you don't have to spend, you know, money, time, or resources trying to make a new meta pet. So that's a very nice thing for a life wizard to have. And then we are running the Clockwork Courser. If you don't have this, you'd probably want to run the Life Gulcher, or you could go for a set bonus pet, I guess, if you want to as well. Then I'm running this deck because I do not have the Supreme Founders deck on the Life Wizard, but I would recommend the Supreme Founders deck if you do have it. But yeah, that's really all I got for the video, guys. Let me know what you guys think about the build in the comments below. What would you change? Do you think this is the best build? Personally, I do, obviously, you know, hence the video. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, feel free to like and subscribe. It helps me out a lot. And I will see you guys on the next one. Thank you for watching. And as always, take care, guys.